All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar. If you're here live, let me know. Say hello in the chat, everyone who's joining us. Love to see the chat working. Let me know if you're able to write in the chat. Let me see if I can get this chat working. Awesome. Perfect. Everyone can chat. Super cool. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Paul Eliseo. I've just had a shave for those that have seen me before. So freshly shaven for tonight. I'm really excited tonight to jump on and share with everyone on some information that changed my life. I personally struggled a lot through different stages of my life with a lot of different things happening in my world. I had a lot of challenges with how I thought and felt. And that basically brought up a lot of physical symptomology, a lot of mental, emotional turmoil at times. And hypnotherapy is one of those things that literally changed my world. I went from a kid that couldn't leave his bedroom to basically traveling around the world, helping people all over the world now. I basically have students and staff that work all over the planet with me. And this skill set has let me help a lot of people overcome their challenges and roadblocks. So I'm really inspired to share some of the insights that will help you understand hypnotherapy better and how it can help the people that you work with. And if you don't work with people, how it can help you personally. So I'm excited to chat with everyone on tonight about that. Tonight, I've made this webinar to help people that are already working with people. If you're not, that's okay that you're here too. But we really open this webinar for people that were mostly working as breath workers, holistic therapists, counselors, yoga teachers, and anyone working with people to get better results. You're a person out there wanting to serve and help people. I love that. That's something that inspires me too. And we're always seeking and looking for better ways to get bigger transformations for our clients. It's really common if you work with clients to run into some resistance, sometimes sabotage patterns. If you're working with big groups of people, trying to get everyone to the same place to have massive realizations, massive transformations is something that we're all trying to do. And if you're working one-on-one, I know that we've talked about massage, we talked about movement therapies and all those kind of things too. People with a lot of body and physical issues, a lot of that, as we're going to talk about tonight, can be coming from a lot of the mental, emotional issues. And whether it's a health concern, whether it's a sabotage with diet and exercise, whether it is relationship issues, whether it's pain, whether it's challenges at work, challenges in life with family, a lot of those challenges can be resolved and massively transformed with hypnotherapy. So I'm really excited to be talking about it. For those that haven't met me before, let me just do not ages, but a quick sort of rundown of my experience. I am a trainer of hypnotherapy, trainer of NLP and timeline therapy, internationally certified. Have trained literally thousands of students all over the world. And that's super inspiring for me to have students working in different countries, helping people to let go of things from anxiety to full-on post-traumatic stress disorder, dealing with physical issues. We've got students that are working as specialists in things like changing habits, changing addictions. We've got students that specialize in business coaching. We've got students that specialize in a lot of things all over the world. And it's really amazing to see the effect that this kind of work is having. We run certifications that are accredited and approved by most of the boards in Australia for most of the people on that are usually in Australia, but also internationally as well, which is huge. I've been in the industry. It's not exactly 20 years. It will be exactly 20 years in a few months' time, which is super interesting. It's basically about half my life. And so I've been working with people in lots of different ways, originally starting off in the health and fitness world, but moving into the mental, emotional space and helping people to unlock their potential and to let go of some of the things that are holding them back. Because as you know, as a coach and therapist, if you've been in that world for a while, you realize that there's more to life than just, the reps and sets that people do in the gym, the food they eat. There's a lot going on in the background. And if you can help people to have transformations in the way they think and they feel, in the way they see themselves, in their beliefs, in their values, and in their emotions, that has a huge ripple effect through their whole life. So for me, I really cottoned onto that after a little while. I became PT of the Year in South Australia, which was amazing for the fitness first that I worked through, and really started to develop my skill set and help my clients more holistically. And then basically that took off and I was training other trainers. I was traveling and working with people all over the world. And now I run my business with my partner, Juliet. She's amazing. And we teach trainings all over the world, which is cool. I've also invented the brain stem method, which is what I teach in my hypnotherapy trainings. Our hypnotherapy that we run is very unique. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the powerful things that you can do with hypnosis and why working with your clients in that way is just so transformative. But I'm also going to chat a little bit tonight about some of the differences in how we work. So let me give you a little bit of an overview of what to expect for tonight. I'm going to do my best to keep it short, sharp, and sweet in around 45 minutes. I'm going to talk about the 3 key things that you want to look at working with the client with if you want to make lifelong change and help clients to have those deep transformations and to not be sort of, stumbling, self-sabotaging and getting in their own way. And that, may even be for yourself. I know that making change for a lot of people can be hard. They make a couple steps forward and they take a couple steps back. And so we're going to talk about the 3 key things you need to do to make those kind of changes in yourself and with clients, which is huge. We're going to talk a little bit about how our hypnotherapy style is a little bit different. The way we teach the trainings and the kind of approach that we take is very different from what's out there. I've traveled around the world. I've studied from trainers all over the world, and I've seen what's out there, and I've been certified through many boards. And initially, what I learned hypnotherapy was powerful, but I found a lot of limitations. And so I'm really excited to share a little bit of the ideas behind what we do. Obviously, it's not a full certification training, and we're going to be running one of those next week, which is huge. But I want to kind of give you some background into why we do things the way we do and how powerful it is when you use the skills in that certain way. So we're going to talk about that. If we're going well for time, and I hope that we do, I'd love to do a little bit of hypnotherapy with you guys tonight. Obviously, it's a group, and we're going to do more of just a nice experience, nothing too deep, nothing too therapeutic, but just to get you to drop in, to feel what it's like to be in your body and have a nice experience. So stick around for that. And then if you're here to the end, I would love to make a special offer for everyone on tonight to help you get a bit of a taste of some hypnosis and, to get involved in our world. I'd love to share what we do with you and help you to level up your own life and make transformations, but also to help you be able to help more people. One of our missions at Evolve and Relaunch is to help over 1 million people to let go of the past, to feel empowered in the present, and to transform their futures. We want to help 1 million people plus to get in control of their mind, body, and soul. And I can't do that all myself. So I love teaching people how to do this and to be able to make a big impact on the planet and to help people to really master their mind, their body, and their emotions, and to be able to create what they want in life. So let's dive into it. If you're having fun, let me know in the chat. Share along. I'm getting messages from people, which is awesome. Love seeing you guys on tonight. So let's look at the 3 key things we need to think out if we want to help a client shift. Okay. Now there's more than 3, but for time restrictions, I wanted to chat about some of the probably 3 really important ones. I could speak for days really about this. The hypnotherapy training we run is normally 7 days, and our advanced training is even longer than that. So, there is a lot to this, but I want to sort of give you a bit of an insight and an overview of it. So whenever you're trying to make change, and you've probably noticed this in yourself and definitely with clients, if you work with clients, sometimes you go to make change and you make all those little adjustments and those little dominoes start tipping over, but then bang, something happens that blocks it. And there's some sort of interference or interruption that stops those small things really getting to the point where it starts to snowball. You may have seen this with yourself. You start, saying you want to lose weight. You start saying you want to exercise more. You start saying you want to commit to certain things in your life, right? Stopping habits, starting new things. And you might take a few steps, but then something gets in the way, and then all of a sudden you're back to the start again. I like to use the example of the ancient Greek sort of story of Sisyphus. And if you've heard it, you might know this story, but basically he had to push a boulder up a hill every day. He'd wake up, push the boulder up the hill, and he'd get to the top of the hill, but when he'd go to sleep at night, the boulder would roll back down again. And that's kind of what happens when you try to make change consciously. And this can also happen with clients. If you're helping them to make change, they'll sometimes have some sort of resistance, something come up that blocks what you're saying and what you're doing as a coach and therapist from actually hitting that point where it ripples through their whole life, where it doesn't just be something that's happening when they're concentrating on it and focusing on it. It actually goes through and it makes change unconsciously. And you've probably felt that yourself. When you've actually made a change at a deep unconscious level, it's just happened and it ripples through you. You don't have to think about it. It's just something you do. It's just automatic. It's you're being the person that's different. You've made a huge shift. But if you have to focus on it and think about it, that's really conscious change and conscious effort. And it's only happening when you're paying attention to it. And the second that you stop, it's like all those unconscious patterns get in the way and sabotage. So this is something that I've noticed over the years when you're working with the clients to make unconscious change. What you'll see on the other side here, it's like you're opening up portals and pathways in their ability to access what they need to change. Now, this is huge. And this is like, we have a few techniques in our hypnotherapy training, which is pretty metaphoric, that it's kind of like this, where they literally know exactly where to go and what to do to tap into to make the changes they need to in their world to get the result that they need. And this is all happening unconsciously. Most of our behavior, most of our perceptions, our decisions and actions are run by unconscious programming. Our identity, our values, our beliefs, our emotions, and past experience shape a lot of how we see the world and how we see ourselves, what we'll do and what we won't do. And if we're fighting against that massive component of what makes us a human and just try to force change against it, it's like, to use a bad metaphor, it's like peeing in the wind. It's going to come back and it's going to blow back on you. So we really want to work with the wind and set our sails to help it steer us and to make change, and for our clients especially too. So as you can see by this slide, we really want to help them to tap into that unconscious potential they have and really teleport into the realities that they can create. So we really want to be working at the unconscious level with clients. We really want to be making change that way versus going against the resistance. Now, as a coach and therapist, this next slide, I want to do my best to explain to you guys. When you're working with a client, sometimes you'll notice that they'll just keep bringing a block. They'll keep bringing this challenge and this challenge and this challenge, just like this little character here. They've got all these little blocks, all these little limitations. They're like, well, this is the reason I can't do this. Oh, this is the reason I can't do this. And this is the reason, right? And they literally can stack up all the blocks and all the reasons why they can't do anything. And sometimes as a coach, as a therapist, as someone who wants to help people, you might help them try to get all those pieces in alignment. And that's hard work. And usually people will find more and more things, because where focus goes, energy flows. And if people focus on blocks and limitations, they're going to get more blocks and limitations, right? So we want to help them to let go, right? And this is a bad pun, but we want to help people to let go. And what we really do is we help people to tap into what's happening inside, under the surface, underneath, and not just the blocks that they think are the problem. Because it's really common that clients will come in and they'll talk about a problem with Johnny or Janie or Billy. And it's usually recent things at work or with their family and with their friends, common recent situations where they got angry at so-and-so, or this person said that, or this person did that. But usually that's not the first time that these things have happened in their life. And it's really useful when you start thinking and learning some of the skills that we teach you, is most challenges and problems in people's lives are just echoes of the past. They're just recycling the same problems, because we go through cycles and revolutions until we take jumps in our evolution. And so we emotionally create cycles of things that we haven't resolved until unconsciously resolve them. And then we can grow through instead of go through those situations. So tapping into the client and finding what's deep, what's unconscious, what's underneath that keeps creating these situations, because a lot of their life experience externally right now is a recapitulations of the things they usually experienced in the first 0 to 7 years of their life. So what they learn about relationships, what they learn about health, what they learn about money, what they learn about, all the things that shape them early in life tend to get echoed out through their reality, and everything kind of mirrors that back. So if we're just working on the blocks they bring in, we're probably not working on the real problem or the actual problem. That's actually really the thing that's creating the problem, the root cause. So really working at that root cause level is where you can make those massive shifts. And usually it's a lot easier than trying to work with hundreds of little blocks and little problems. We're working on the big thing that if we knock that block out, the rest of them basically come crashing down. And then we can start building up new things with that energy and that space that we've created. So that's huge. And that's one of the main keys of getting great lifelong transformations with clients. The other key thing is clients will come in and they'll be almost locked and trapped in their reality and in their problem. All they will see is blocks and limitations. They will see problem everywhere they go because they're creating that world around them. And so a lot of styles of therapy, a lot of approaches will almost look at the box the client's in and almost put them in more boxes. They'll almost say, well, yeah, that's there, that's true for you, and look how much you're trapped by that. And so I'm not saying any style of therapy is wrong, but a lot of approaches will almost put people in stronger, more solid boxes and reinforce the box they're in, labeling them, saying, you've got this issue, you've got that issue. And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's sometimes useful to have a diagnosis. But for a lot of people, that becomes a trap. And they're only ever going to be stuck in and play in the box that they've been put in. But what we really encourage our coaches and therapists to think about and adopt as a mindset is to help people see and break outside the box. Because the box is usually something that is constructed, it's a association, it's a mental pattern based on something that's happened in the past that they've linked to a certain situation, a stimulus, a response, and they keep recreating it. But as a coach and a therapist, as we can see them more than that, we can see them getting out of the box and expanding where they are safe to play. If we can see them as the infinite potential that they have inside and help them to connect to that, we can help them out of that box. We can help them to free themselves from the box that they've been trapped in. And this is huge because a lot of, clients, a lot of people out there, they never think that they can get outside the box and all they can do is learn to live more comfortable in the box that they're trapped in. But the truth is, we can help them to basically break the limitations that they thought were real and expand what's possible for them. This is huge. And as a coach and as a therapist working with clients, your belief grows the more you see your clients transform. And we really focus at Evolve and Relaunch in building you up as a coach and therapist to have a rock solid belief in what's possible for people. We want you to know that your clients can transform and will transform, and your energy and connection with them is one of the key components that creates that transformation. Because there's been a lot of studies on the best form of therapy out there. And hypnotherapy is one of the best forms of therapy. It is one of the most researched and has some of the best evidence for the way it can get people results. But the truth is, hypnotherapy wasn't the best. Let me talk about why. Because when they studied all the different styles of therapy, they realized it didn't necessarily matter what style of therapy a person was doing. They all get results. But what gets the best results is not necessarily the style of therapy, but the connection between the coach and the client. That made the biggest difference regardless of what style of therapy was done. So in all of our courses, we really focus on creating a connection between the coach and the client and building this connection and belief where the coach and therapist believe so much in the client that they are going to transform. You see their potential. You see them as being already outside of the challenges that we're stuck in. And because of that interaction, the dynamic interaction that gets created, because of the psychological component, because of the emotional component, because of coherence, because of the quantum mechanic nature of reality, the observer affects the reality. You literally will transform your clients because of the energy you're bringing to the session, and your words become more powerful. The connection between your client and you allows them to feel safe to make the changes. Whereas other people that have worked with in the past have seen them as trapped and stuck in a box. You've seen them outside of that and they know it's possible because you believe in them so much that they're going to start to believe in themselves. Because in the past, they may have only run into people that believe that their problems are real, that they can only live inside that small box, and they reinforce the problem. But we help them to see that they're bigger than their problem. We believe in our clients' ability to change more than they believe in their problems. And this is a major difference in the way that we work with our clients at Evolve and Relaunch. And we want all of our coaches to believe that at a deep core level. So it's one of the foundations that we build upon. And we really build all of our tools on top of that. Because any tool, any technique, any style of therapy that you use after that, that intention, that belief system that you've built and have installed at a core level really shapes and turbocharges any tool that you use after that. And that's something we're really big on and we really focus on. So they're the three real keys. I know there's more and I'd love to talk about them. But again, because of time limitations, they're the three that I picked for tonight. If you're playing along, I'd love to hear which one of those jumped out at you, which one of those that you feel like you might want to build into how you work with people. I know they're all powerful. I know they all make a huge difference. But just sharing the chat with me, I can see all of your responses. Not everyone else can see them depending on what you select. So if you write directly to me, that's cool. If you write so other people can see, that's cool too. As you guys do that, I'm going to keep moving because I know that time is ticking. So let's jump ahead to the 5 differences. Now, there is a lot of different trainings out there. There's a lot of different course providers and a lot of different things. Personally, I recommend to study everything. It's what I love to do. I go out there, I see what's out there. I have spent a lot of money and a lot of time building my skill set, building my knowledge, and sampling everything that's out there. And the truth is, when I first studied hypnotherapy, I was out doing all the courses that I could find in Australia. And when I went through all the levels of basically any course I could get my hand on. I went from just a practitioner to masters to trainer and all of those things. And the funny thing was, for me, in my personal transformation, going from a kid that couldn't leave his bedroom, that was literally afraid of the world, to being confident to be in one of the biggest gyms in South Australia with literally thousands of members, to talking on stage, to presenting, hypnotherapy changed my life. And it all happened from basically reading a book and learning how to do self-hypnosis and applying the tools and techniques for myself to feel more calm and more confident. And just using basic self-hypnosis techniques, it changed my world, right? So I knew how powerful hypnosis could be. And so I went and studied hypnotherapy. And what I studied, I was actually a little bit disappointed with what I could do with what I'd learned. Because basically most courses, I'm going to do a really bad example of this. Most courses I did, I'd go in and I'd get given a piece of paper. And they'd give me the piece of paper and they'd say, okay, this is what's going to get your clients results. This is going to be the thing that transforms them. I want you to read these words word for word and you're going to get the results. Okay. So you get the piece of paper and you go, have you been in trance before now? That's right. You are getting sleepier, sleepier. That's right, deeper. And you basically look at a piece of paper and you completely ignore your client and you try to read the words the way they're written on the paper. And that's okay. And it would get you results. But I kind of found it very limiting because growing up, I had a lot of trouble learning and a lot of trouble reading. I basically was undiagnosed dyslexic. And so it took a lot of energy to focus on the words. And I basically just memorized all the pieces of paper and would just repeat what I had learned to my clients. And that was good. It got me results, but I felt like I was a bit of a parrot, right? I felt like I couldn't really work with the client. And so a lot of styles of hypnotherapy out there are very script-based, very one-dimensional. And they don't really give that client coach reaction or interaction much power. Whereas we're the total opposite. And so let me talk about some of the key differences that after years of research and studying not just hypnotherapy, but all sorts of modalities, stage hypnosis, street hypnosis, shamanism, energetic healings, spiritual healings, ritualistic healings, all sorts of different things that were out there. I looked at how they worked and why they worked, and I found a lot of commonalities. And I basically borrowed things from all over the world and some of the best teachers on the planet, some of the way they taught, some of the approaches they taught, and the unique methods. And I built the training that I run now. And I built a framework called the Brainstem method as well, and utilize a lot of those tools and techniques to blend all of the best ways of learning and ways of teaching, but also the best hypnotic approaches. So let me talk you through some of the 5 key differences. There's more than 5, but again, for time, I had to limit it to 5 of how we work with hypnotherapy versus some of the other schools. So like I talked about, a lot of the old school style of hypnotherapy is very one size fits all. You come in, you get your book, you get your manual, and you go, okay, if someone wants to quit smoking, just read this piece of paper. If someone wants to lose weight, you just read this piece of paper. And I was like, well, what if my client isn't the same as what's on this piece of paper? And no, this is it. You read that, you do it. And I was like, well, that's a kind of crap. And I started doing it with clients, and I realized that clients aren't always going to follow the piece of paper, and they're not going to always respond how it says they're going to respond. And it was very limiting. It was very frustrating. And it was pretty boring to be honest, because you were literally just reading the same thing over and over again. There was nothing, it was a one size fit all approach, and it has its place and you can get results with that. So if that's what you're doing, great, but there's more to hypnotherapy than that. And so the way that we work, we tailor our language, our interaction, and the techniques and tools that we use based on each individual client, on each individual problem. And even each tool and technique will be different for the same client on the next session. Or if you did the same tool and technique again, it would be totally different because of the way that you and your clients interact and basically dance with each other through the session. It's an interaction. It's a cooperative flow of energy. It's not that you come in and you're going to just do all the work and then the client's going to walk out different. The client is working with you. So the power builds and you really get to work with and tailor it exactly based on your client, exactly based on their problem, exactly based on their triggers. And it is totally different. So it really is built for them. And that's why it works better, because it's exactly them, exactly their words, exactly their triggers, and exactly what they need, because they actually help you build it. We really flip the dynamic in how we work and how we teach. A lot of other schools and other approaches of therapy teach that you become the expert as the therapist. That's cool and that's great. But guess what? You're not more powerful than anyone in the world. Your clients are literally the experts in our approach. We give your clients the power back. We don't take the power from them. We want them to find their power. So we're basically just a tool guide. We're helping them to connect back to themselves. We're helping them to find their power, because guess what? They're the ones that perceive the problem. They're the ones that keep recreating the problem. They're the ones that know exactly what the triggers are, exactly when and where it all started, exactly all the things. They're the expert in their problem. Not you, they're the expert. And they also unconsciously know exactly what they need to do to resolve it, exactly what they need to solve and transform, not you. So this takes all the pressure off you as a therapist and gives them the power. And so you just basically work with the expert and they help you help them. And that is so fun. It's, as a coach and as a therapist, every session, every client is different. It's not just Groundhog Day where you're reading the same scripts or you're doing the same methods. You're literally getting to work with people that are experts to help you help them transform. Now, this takes the pressure off you, and it also empowers your client. And I love when clients walk away knowing that they have the power. Not saying, oh, you're so amazing. And your clients are going to tell you amazing. They're going to thank you for helping them transform. But they're going to know that they also made it happen and they also had a huge part in the transformation. And also, one thing that this does amazingly, it also reduces the resistance. Some clients are resistant to you telling them what to do, or you help like people making them change. When they're doing it, there's nothing to resist because it's them. They're the one doing the transformation. You're just helping them through it. So it totally flips the power dynamic. It makes your job easier. It makes it easier for them to change. It is a totally different approach. So I really love educating and empowering clients and students to be able to work that way, because it's a total game changer in the therapeutic world. One of the other cool things that I really love and that we flipped, when I learned from a lot of other hypnotherapy schools, it was all about the scripts have the power, the book has the power. You need to say the exact language pattern. You need to say the exact script. You need to follow this word for word. That's cool and it works, right? Words are powerful. Words literally create your world. But like I said, we at Evolve and Relaunch, in all of our trainings, we give the power back to the client, and we want them to get their power back and not give it away to a diagnosis, not give it away to their past, not give it away to other people, to claim their own power, because anything that they're thinking and feeling is happening internally. It's never the thing, it's the way they're thinking about the thing. All of their past negative experiences, all of their triggers, all of their emotions, all of their beliefs, where are they? They don't actually exist in the external world. They're all internal mental pictures of the past and present, neurological constructs, emotions that are fired off, different chemicals that are cascading in their hormonal system, different firing electrical patterns in their neurological system. They're all happening inside. It's all part of them. And the only person that's in control of that is them. The external world cannot affect you unless you allow it, but you don't know what's happening most of the time because it's unconscious. So we make our clients conscious of what they're unconscious about, and we help them to tap into their unconscious to help them to make those shifts. And when they make those shifts, they see themselves and the world differently. They literally tap into the infinite power they have to create to change themselves and their reality. This is a total game changer. The words Yeah, they're powerful, but they're not as powerful as your clients. They're not as powerful as you. So when you take back your power and you help your clients to do that, the words are like the icing on the cake. And we really focus on the power of language. We teach you the most powerful words and the most powerful patterns and the most powerful procedures and principles to get the results. But we know that all of those things get turbocharged when you work with your client and you help them to tap into their power. So it's a total different dynamic there, and it really makes a huge difference. And so for me, I love helping clients to feel this and to get this at a deep unconscious level, but I also love educating coaches and therapists to really help their clients to really tap into themselves. And throughout the course, students just really wake up this power. And this is one of the things I notice in teaching these kind of trainings is people have heard the saying that you have everything you need inside you. You have, all your answers inside. And people know that at a conscious level. When they experience it unconsciously, when they have the embodied experience, that literally they tap into their unconscious mind. And if you do a course, you'll tap into that and you'll find exactly what you need to transform and exactly what you need to level up your life. It's an undeniable experience because you experienced it and you went through that. And once you go through that and you experience it, no one in the external world can tell you anything else because you know exactly that you have the answers and you have everything you need inside of you. And that is a total belief builder. It changes the world. And then you get inspired and excited to help other people do that. And so for me, I love helping people evolve and tapping into their power. And I'd love for you to go on that journey if that's something that inspires you too. So that's the second key difference. I know we're going through 5. There's more than 5, but I know time is already ticking. It's already been over 33 minutes. All right. So let's keep moving. So the next one, this one's kind of cool. And I kind of mentioned it a little bit before. When I first studied hypnotherapy and a lot of styles of therapy, you basically just become a parent. You just repeat the things that you're told to repeat and you stick to the script like a good actor and just do what you're told, stick to the script, and it will get your result. And it is working for most people out there. But that's limiting. What happens when your client doesn't have the exact same situation that's on the script? What happens when they have triggers that you didn't account for because of the script? What happens when it doesn't fit their world? Well, we flip that. And as you can see on this side, I don't know if you know the picture of that. It's one of the great American philosophers, Eminem there. This is a picture from the movie 8 Mile. And he's freestyling, right? So what we teach our students to do is we help them build these frameworks that are very dynamic and adjustable based on how to get a result, but their client fits into that. And as long as they're inside and working with the frameworks, they can freestyle. They can adapt and adjust to what's happening. So if you've ever seen a freestyle battle, a person will say something and the other person says something back. And then the other person says something and then the other person says something back. So it's a back and forth interaction. A lot of styles of hypnotherapy is a one-way street. The client comes in, closes their eyes, and the therapist just talks at the client. That gets a result. It's cool, but it's a bit weird in my opinion. I like working with my client. I like having a dialogue. I like going back and forth. It's a conversation. And as they say something, you're getting immediate feedback. You do something else, you get immediate feedback. So you're constantly working with your client. You don't wait to the end and move your piece of paper and just hope that they're different. You're constantly seeing that it's working and you're putting more power into where the energy needs to go and create more transformation. So each basically back and forward rebuttal in a battle sign situation, you can see they're getting where they need to go. So as a coach and therapist, you're working as a team with your client and it builds power as you go. So it's almost like a duet. You're singing together, you're building together, you're building energy and you're working towards the goal together. And so there's nothing to resist there because your client is working with you. A lot of styles of therapy create that resistance. They're like, well, this person's going to hypnotize me and they're going to say stuff and I'm going to be different. You're going to work with them to help them. And so you're, as a team, getting there. And so this is a whole different approach. Again, it is super powerful. And this what kind of leads to this next slide. A lot of other styles of therapy is that you're dictating, you're just basically talking at the client and authoritarianism. You're going to quit smoking. You're going to stop doing that. And you basically make all these really direct suggestions and very authoritarian. And there's lots of styles of hypnotherapy out there, but a lot of them are suggestion-based therapy where you say this, you do that, and you make all these suggestions to your client. and it works. It's really powerful, and we do utilize that, but that's not our only approach. Our approach is more what it looks like here. We're helping our clients to help us, and we're lifting them up. We're helping them help us navigate their internal world and the things that they need to shift and let go of in order to get to the top of the mountain, in order for them to succeed, to overcome their obstacles and hurdles, to get to the outcomes that they want. So it's, versus you have all the power and control, it's you and your client working as a team as equals to get to an outcome. I love that approach. Personally, I feel like that is so powerful, and your powers get multiplied versus, your powers get nullified if your client's resisting and you're just talking at them. This way, you're getting constant feedback. You don't have to wait to the end of the session to go, oh shit, that didn't get where I wanted to go. You basically are constantly getting feedback to know, yep, we're there, let's keep going. Or, hey, we need to go this way. Like, you can navigate the obstacles together as a team versus just, say you go do this and they can't do it, so you get stuck. So it's way more energizing, way easier for both you and the client. It is a more gentle, it's just a much better approach to working with clients. And that's why I teach it. That's why I use it. That's why I've kind of steered away from a lot of the other approaches. And the last of the 5 main differences, again, there's more than 5, but a lot of styles of therapy and a lot of courses that I've been to, they'll use time differently. Okay. So for example, you'll learn a technique and they'll go, okay, read this piece of paper. You're going to read it for 15, 20 minutes. And then the other person's going to have a go. So you do a 20-minute induction. And most of the time they do really slow, really long inductions where you basically bore people into trance. You spend 20 minutes practicing. The other person goes, you've seen a 20-minute demo, 60 minutes. That's it. You've got one practice in 60 minutes. And that's okay. You do one practice in 60 minutes. Over the course of the day, you've got a break, you've got another break, you've got lunch. The presenter talks a bit. Maybe you do 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 different techniques in the day. Wow, that's been really great. You've done 6 practices for a day. That's pretty good, right? But the way I like to do it, as you can see on this side, is I break time down into a lot smaller chunks. Because the first time you do something, do you think you're the best at it you ever be? So most of the time, most people end up not utilizing and wasting the time because they don't have the level of skill that they could get the most out of it. So what I do is I break the chunk of information and the chunk of practice down so small that we can do it in a shorter amount of time. So instead of spending 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour doing one practice, we break down each component and we practice it multiple times, sometimes in minutes, sometimes in 10 seconds. We're doing multiple practices. And so if you break down something and do one practice a minute, in a minute, you've already done 60 practices. Hold on, let me say that again. In an hour, you've already done 60 practices. So for 1 minute practices, you do 60 in an hour. And so imagine every hour of the day, let's say you've got a couple hours here and there for lunch breaks and stuff like that. Let's say you do 5 hours of real practice. That's 300 practices in 5 hours. Will you be better after practicing something 300 times or 5 times, right? And so we really build and install all of these steps over a lot of repetitions, and we really do quantity and quality practice where we're doing a lot of practice to get really good, and we're really reinforcing skills. And this works how the unconscious mind and building habits loves repetition. So we use repetition and we build all the tools and techniques in small steps into bigger procedures, and we use a lot of practice. So everything becomes unconscious, it becomes embodied, it becomes installed at the unconscious level. So you never need to look at a piece of paper. You've done and practiced things so many times, it's automatic for you. It's unconscious, it's part of who you are. And so all of these tools and techniques become like really part of you, so you can focus all on your client without having to think or look at a piece of paper when you're doing the tools and techniques. And so this really creates confident and super powerful therapists and coaches, because you literally walk away after our hypnosis training and you'll never have to look at the course manual again. All the tools and techniques you've done in so many small steps and so much practice and so much repetition, you're completely unconsciously competent in it. You can do it without even thinking. You'll check the course manual at the end of the course and you'll know everything in it, and you'll be able to use all of those things with anyone that sits right in front of you without ever having to review the information. And I kind of find that amazing because for me, I really used to struggle learning, but every time I run this course, and literally have run this course for hundreds of students over basically nearly 2 decades now, it is every single student is blown away at how fast they learn this stuff, how easy it is, and how good they are very fast. Literally, after the first day of training, people are doing eyes open conversational hypnotic work. They can put people in and out of trances. They do instant inductions. By the end of the week, they're doing full hypnotic regressions, integrating internal conflicts. They're helping people let go of the past. They're helping people dissolve traumatic events. They're helping people create more empowering futures. They're helping clients to go inside and find their resources they need, and basically watching clients solve their own problems and sitting there and just watching the magic happen. And they can walk out the door and help people quit smoking, quit addictions, and literally transform their life within a week. And they literally can do it all without looking at a course manual. It is amazing. I love teaching the training, and it's all because of some of the methods we use, but also the style of teaching. And we use hypnosis to also teach you how to do hypnosis. So you're going to be going in and out of trances the whole time. And we use altered states, we use emotions, we use your memory, we use all those different mechanisms and vehicles to create trance and utilize them to help you to put yourself and your clients in and out of trance. So we're going to have multiple approaches, multiple methods. Not one style fits everyone, but we're going to have you have so many approaches and so many styles that you really become a ninja, that you can just adapt and respond to anything, right? So that's really one of the main other differences. I was going to teach a few more differences, and like time restraints, obviously it's already basically been 45 minutes, but that's another key difference. So that was the 5 key differences. Let us know in the chat which one stands out to you, in terms of what differences jump out as something that maybe you haven't seen before, maybe you haven't used before, or maybe you're interested to know and learn. Just let me know in the chat. I'll give you a couple seconds to respond as we do that. And then also, I know that tonight's kind of wrapped up in terms of time, but I would love to thank you all for being here. And because you're all on, I'd love to give you a special offer. I'd love to help everyone evolve. And really, there's a lot of things we can help you with. I'd love to help you and go through one of our hypnosis practitioner courses, because that's going to help you to understand and learn all of these skills. But as a special offer today to thank you for being on, I'd love to offer you my 1-day self-hypnosis course. Usually retails for around $200. Every time I run it live, it sells out. And normally I run it and we get 50 people booked in for it every time. And I've been running this course for years. It's a lot of the tools and techniques that help me transform myself to go from a kid that couldn't leave his bedroom to working in the biggest gym in South Australia, to traveling and teaching and running workshops all over the world. And so you can be more confident, you can overcome anxiety, you can tap into those things. That 1-day self-hypnosis course will teach you how to do hypnosis for yourself. But I'd also like to couple that with a complimentary consult to determine if and how you can integrate hypnotherapy into your personal practice for yourself at a deeper level and do therapeutic work, or to take it into how you work with clients. So if you're a coach, a therapist, you're a yoga instructor, you're a breath worker, massage therapist, personal trainer, you can take this out and help people to make huge transformations. So you'll get a free consult, you'll chat to one of my team, and that will help you to work out if it's a fit for you. And if it is, help you to get involved in one of our trainings. So all of this together is valued at over $400. Today, only $49 Australian. So if you're anywhere in the world, it's Australian dollars, which is cool because Australian dollars is a lot less than euros or American dollars. So if it's American dollars, it's going to be about 25, 30 American dollars or something like that. So all you need to do is take a screenshot. You can screenshot this now and you can scan it. That's going to give you access to things. Also, my beautiful partner, Juliet, has just dropped in the link. So if you want to purchase this, you click that link in there and it'll take you to a page where you just put your details in. And for $49, you get access to the 1-day self-hypnosis course, but also a chat with one of my team to help you see if you can really use these skills in your life personally, or take these into working as a coach and therapist. So I'd love to know tonight, what's been your biggest light bulb or takeaway? If you want to share in the chat, that'll be amazing. I want to thank you all for being here as well. So share with me your biggest light bulb and takeaway. If you want to follow along, you can follow us at Evolve and Relaunch, or myself personally, Paul Eliseo on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you're on tonight, send me a message. Let me know that you've watched this. If you're watching the replay of this too, this offer is still valid for you to do that. Send me a message if you do watch this, either live or on the replay, what you've taken from today. Biggest light bulb. If you have any questions, reach out. Add me on socials. Send me a message. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'd love to chat more. We do have some course dates of some courses coming up. We have a hypnotherapy starting next week. We've got an NLP coming up, and we have one-on-one available with some of our coaches. So if you want hypnotherapy for yourself personally, we can help you with an amazing, highly skilled coach that's been through all our trainings. But again, to get started, you can get access to our one-day self-hypnosis course and run through that, but also get a call with one of our coaches to see how we can help you. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit, jump in the chat and just send me a message. Thank you all for being on here. Hopefully you got some great information. I try to cover as much as I could in 45 minutes. In our trainings, obviously we go through how to use these tools therapeutically for yourself to let go of the past, emotions, any negative events, any beliefs that you got holding you back. Also, how to create your future, how to help program yourself to change your habits and beliefs and behaviors, but also how to be a highly skilled coach and therapist that you can literally walk out the door, be certified to work with people all over the planet. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, send me a message. Also, you can scan the link there. You can book in after you've obviously purchased the program to have a chat. If you want to have a chat and find out more, send me a message on social media. We will have someone reach out to you, and we will send you emails over the next few days to make sure you got the replay, but also to invite you to have a chat with us as well. Thank you so much for being on tonight. So many superstars with us. Hopefully you're having a fantastic week. Looking forward to working with you in the future. Again, I'm Paul Eliseo from Evolve and Relaunch Education. Keep evolving, and hopefully I'll see you in a training soon. Ciao.